Dear friends, good afternoon. I'm glad to welcome you to the YouTube channel Synthesit. Today we have a consumer named Alexander with us. Alexander, hello again.
Hello.
We are very happy to welcome you to our YouTube channel. Please share your story, your introduction to the mineral, your impressions, and your experience using it.
Sure, I will do that. I will do that now. I'll just try to be a little brief because we don't have much time. I'll start with the most important part. So some time ago, it was in 2022, I started experiencing strange things, situations. So quite unexpectedly, my legs would completely give way, and if I didn't grab onto something without warning, I could just fall, or else I might potentially end up on the ground. At first it was one time I had such an episode. Then after a while they started happening quite often. That's when I started to get worried. Yes, I didn't lose consciousness. In general, everything was, so to speak, all right. It all happened while I was conscious.
You just lost your balance, right? And you could have fallen.
Yes, thank God I have a small apartment. So I always have something to grab onto. So I grabbed on. Then these episodes started happening quite often. So much that I was even afraid to go outside. One, I think that now I have. It will happen again, and what will I do there? Well, that's when I went to see a neurologist at the neurology clinic. I got MRI. MRI of the brain. They found certain changes. I'll think about it. And then they prescribed treatment. I had 10 infusions done with medications. Moreover, I couldn't even walk to that place by myself, even though it's not that far from my home. That's where they were giving me those infusions. So my friends would just drive me there, drop me off, and then wait until my infusion was done and to be continued. They would bring me back home. Overall, it provided a few minor, entirely insignificant details that were not particularly noteworthy or impactful in any significant way. Result. What is it? Well, almost none. You could say, but I was already registered there with them. And one of my acquaintances suggested to me, she was using Synthesit. She suggested to me that there's this medication and it's worth a try. But the thing is, the doctors didn't even know anything about it. I sent it to the neurologist. This leaflet that was there. My acquaintance passed it on about synthesizer, and I asked her, how about that? She read it, looked it over, and said, well, we can give it a try. Oh, sir. I still didn't have complete trust in this, because whether I can or not, the thing is, I still have a diagnosis. I don't know. I have a diagnosis completely blocked. One-sided artery. There's one branch, that one. It's called an occlusion. And the other carotid arteries, what's wrong with him? In the day, 60%. They have stenosis. And I was being monitored for this at the doctor's. And the thing is, if this plaque for some unknown reason. I was more or less calm because these plaques were stabilized. And I thought that I read that Synthesit, it charges the blood and so on. I was afraid, thinking maybe it would work like this. It will work. What they will shift from their place, meaning they will be calcified. And I see how this could end. It will just be blocked some vessel in the brain, and that's it. This is the finish.
But the doctors allowed you to give it a try. They gave approval.
Yes, I also sent him the same leaflet. He looked at me and said, "Take it, don't be afraid." And then I started this treatment. Moreover, the effect I felt at first, since I had such diagnoses, I first started to take 4 capsules right away.
Did you take the capsules with 800 micrograms? Did you take the capsules with a concentration of 800 micrograms?
Yes, with concentration 800 micrograms. Yes, I've been using them all the time, and I still do. I started taking 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. It had to be taken on an empty stomach. I also met with one person, Anufiev, I think that's his last name. Right now, I just need to look back and remember who was at the origins of this. I was acquainted with those who lives near Moscow.
Okay. Alexander, what did you feel when you started taking Synthesit?
I felt a certain confidence already. So I already felt that my legs were more or less okay. I can control my movement and so on. But that was control my movement and so on. But that was then after I had been drinking it for a week. I needed to go to a certain place there. It's just outside Moscow. I went there and I realized that after a week of taking it, I was already able to walk calmly from the place where I lived to the place where the event was taking place. It takes about 10 minutes.
Although before, it was even difficult to get you to the clinic.
No, of course. I was actually afraid to go outside.
So, there were drastic changes in my well-being and in the control over my coordination of movements within literally a week, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I still, was a bit cautious. A little. I always tried to be in that place where you could sit down on a chair at any moment. During that program, to my surprise, I didn't need the chair. He was around me all the time. But I went through this whole program anyway. I tried it, my legs. To make a long story short, I was even surprised that I could do everything like this already. And in the end, no. I started recommending the synthesizer to all my acquaintances. But they all were a bit skeptical about it too. To him. And then a year later, when I met them again, not even a year, even less, and they saw the difference. In the meantime, compared to my current state, they started asking me where they could buy it.
They set a good example for themselves.
What?
They set a good example for themselves.
Yes, indeed. They saw it for themselves, yes, but by that time I had already. I reduced the dose. I reduced the dose to 1 capsule every single day, and I still do it consistently that way without fail.
It's like a support for you, right? In order to maintain the effect?
Yes, yes. Of course, I know that I won't part with it for the rest of my life. I'm already 77 now. I don't know how much longer I'll last, but one way or another, even, thank you, friends who saw me before, who now say it seems like you don't even look old. On the contrary, because I look younger, and I was more energetic than I was before.
Yes. Even acquaintances from the outside see that your energy levels have increased, that you've become more lively. That's right.
Yes, yes, yes. That's absolutely right.
Great. All right, Alexander, thank you very much for your detailed story. It was very interesting to hear about your impressions and feelings, and I'm very glad that you managed to overcome the symptoms of the neurological condition, whatever it may be. But what's important is that the quality of life is really improving, that now you're on your feet, that you're stable, and you can go outside without fear of needing a chair. And we have a little tradition on our YouTube channel. We ask our guests to share their wishes for the consumers who will be watching your interview and to learn about your story. What would you like to wish them?
Just a moment. I also wanted to add something. I wanted to say that I can not only be independent, but also go outside and so on. Be independent, go outside and so on. I can dance now and do anything I want and dance. I don't have any problems at all.
Were dances a part of your life before? Or did you start dancing actively only after you began taking the synthesizer?
Well, I had some, so to speak, no, they were there, but they weren't really dances. They were a bit different, Let's say they're called spiritual dances.
Spiritual dances.
Yes, yes. I just practice certain things. I've been engaged in spiritual practice for many years. And there we dance.
In dancing, you must control your movements. If you can dance, it means you have full control over your movements. That's very positive.
I don't have any problems at all right now.
It's very nice to hear.
What would you like to wish the viewers? I can only wish that first of all, it's good to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Healthy, a healthy white lifestyle. Healthy, yes, a healthy lifestyle. A healthy lifestyle. And that helps. I followed it for a long time, for many years, for almost 40 years. But nevertheless, it still turned out to be not enough to get all sorts of ailments by my age. So that the synthesizer works wonders, there's no doubt about it. I no longer doubt that. So safe travels and don't be afraid to embrace it.
Thank you very much, Alexander, for the kind words. I think our viewers will be very pleased to hear about your story and to hear your warm wishes. Thank you once again for your time. We wish our viewers good health. Indeed, on Alexander's advice, don't be afraid. Consult with a doctor, call us for support, and ask any questions you may have. Thank you. Any questions about the products, about the effects of the mineral? We are ready to answer you. Alexander, thank you once again for the interview. We also wish you good luck and health.
All the best.
Friends, for those who stumbled upon this video by chance, subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, and leave comments. And for those whose YouTube is lagging, we remind you that we duplicate each interview on VK Video and in our VK group. Stay healthy and thank you for your attention.